Good morning. This is Selena practicing life, and I'm glad you're here. And I'd love to hear how you're practicing life as well. Today, I started my day with two practices that I really enjoy, and I'll focus on the second one. But the first one was that I'm going to talk about is morning pages, which is a practice that I've been cultivating for a few years, and it came to me from reading The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and it's one of the practices that she suggests. And that's 3 pages of writing every morning, longhand, free form, without an agenda, just writing to and it becomes, for me, it has become a meditative practice where I let go of all of the, just whatever is on my mind in the morning. Sometimes I write, just, things like disjointed thoughts just as they come up in my head. Sometimes I hold with an idea and continue with it for a while. But in any case, it is a practice that I have come to love, and it really does help to center me in the morning. And a newer practice that I've been cultivating has been meditation, and that has a longer story than I'll share now. But I've been practicing in different ways, and in the last couple of weeks I've been joining a virtual group to engage in silent meditation, and then that meditation is followed by a prompt that we reflect on. And so this morning's prompt was one of, what can you let go of that's no longer serving you? And as I thought about it, it didn't take long for the idea to come to me, and that was that I need to let go of comparison. And when I thought about that, I'm walking up a hill, so I apologize for the huffing and puffing, but it came to me very quickly because I'd been talking with my friend yesterday where he was talking about something that was bothering him, and my thought that I shared with him was that comparison is the thief of joy. And that had been shared with me many times before in other situations. And even as I shared it with him, I thought about myself. Sorry for the stuffy nose too. But I thought about how that really lands in my life and in my body, where when I'm comparing myself to other people, like, oh, she's got this and she's doing that with it, or she's, we're similarly credentialed, but she's doing this, and, just a lot of different things, like looking at people that I went to school with and where they are and where I am. And that comparison is truly a thief of joy, because one thing I realized just even as I was writing in my morning pages was that, when I compare myself, it's like I'm predetermined to find what's lacking in me and find somebody else's an external evidence of that lack. And then that turns into resentment or low self-regard. And, so the thing, it was interesting that I was writing about that in my morning pages and then went to the meditation, and the prompt was, what can I let go of that's no longer serving me? And of course, for me, just seeing those two, that prompt and then what came up in my in my morning pages, just seeing those together just really reminded me of, just to be aware of how comparison just crops up. And so one of the ways that it crops up that has been showing up in my life was just like today. After meditation, I went to the yoga studio and practiced yoga this morning. And, I just was with that notion of comparison on my mind. I just was aware of how I was comparing myself to others in the room. And when it came up, it was like, keep your attention on your mat. And I'm grateful for that reflection because, just physically on my own mat, what's happening with me and not looking at other people to see how I compare or if I'm doing it right. And that just really helped me to appreciate my body and what my body's able to do in a new way today. So my invitation to you is, one, to think about what is it that you're doing to practice life today. Two, what would serve you if you let it go, because it's no longer serving you now. And to think about, where is comparison cropping up in your life and what is it doing? So those are my thoughts for this morning as I practice life. And I hope that you're having a marvelous day wherever you are. And I'd love to hear from you. So you can make comments, subscribe, share. That'd be awesome. All right. Peace.